Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Got to call Bob first.
Don't we all?
You good?
There he is.
All right, everyone, thanks for joining us this morning here at the Ford Tech Center. Obviously, we're here to announce that Josh Berry will be the driver for the number 21 Wood Brothers Ford Mustang Dark Horse in 2025. Let me briefly introduce everyone on the stage. I think everyone knows everybody, but to the far left is the Chief Operating Officer of Wood Brothers Racing, Len Wood. Next to him is the Chief Executive Officer, Eddie Wood. Josh Berry, driver, and president of Wood Brothers Racing, John Wood. So what we'll do is I'll just ask an introductory question here to each, and then we'll open it up to question and answers from our friends in the media. And John, what kind of went into this decision, and how did you land on Josh?
I mean, I think Josh was the obvious choice. We had to look at Chase first with the relationship we have with Ford and that he has with Ford, but when it was obvious that wasn't going to work out, Josh was by far and away the top prospect, and he being a Ford driver works, but I mean his results speaks for themselves aside from that, and we're just happy it worked out.
Josh, what does this opportunity mean to be able to drive for one of NASCAR's original teams and with such an iconic history in sport?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, just the history, the heritage, the family atmosphere that the Wood that the Wood Brothers provide just really feels like a great fit for me. I feel like I fit their brand and who they are and how I've got here, how they've got here. I feel like this is a great fit. I've really enjoyed my relationship with Ford, and to continue that on was something that's important to me, and I appreciate and I'm thankful for to have that opportunity. And it really just means a lot to drive an iconic car like the 21. I feel like that it's a great opportunity for me. I feel ready to provide results, and I think that all in all, this is going to be a great relationship.
I know you have a notebook for performance on the track, but you might need a notebook to get all the history and all the stories that you're going to hear over the course of your time with the team, because they've got so many. Eddie, this isn't a decision that is taken lightly, because there are other factors and stuff that go into this. Can you just kind of talk about, from your perspective, what some of those factors are that landed on Josh?
Well, I mean, basically, like John said, we had to talk to Chase first because he had a relationship with Ford Motor Company, Ford Performance, through the development series that went back a number of years. So that didn't seem like that was going to work out. He already had an offer when we got there. But we had Josh in the back of our mind anyway. And when everything unfolded like it did, we were just really excited to get to talk to Josh, and we didn't waste any time doing it. We got I think we met Monday after
Sonoma.
Yeah, just like right away. And it was a real easy process, and we're just happy that he's with us.
And Len, you've seen a lot of drivers come through your family's race team. What kind of qualities have you seen in Josh to kind of make him a good fit for your organization?
Well, we started hearing Josh's name, like, who won Hickory? Josh Berry. Who won Tri-County? Josh Berry. Wait a minute. That kind of stuck in the back of our head from, years ago. I think when he came in and drove for Chase, when he had Chase Elliott, when he had his leg problem, he did really well. He adapted quickly. There was, I think it was a race, Darlington, that he didn't have a good qualifying lap, started in the back, finishes third. That kind of catches your eye. And then the last few weeks, he's been pretty much up front at the end of each race. So that's what we're looking for.
When he substituted for Hendrick, that was pretty eye-opening. I mean, he can tell you, but I can't. These cars are monsters, and to have no experience in in a next-gen car or a Cup car, and to hop in that thing and go like he did at different types of tracks. I mean, it gave every one of us pause, and you don't really know it at the time. It's not something that you're aware of. You're not like, well, this might be our next driver, but you still remember it, and it stood out.
All right, if you've got a question here in the audience, raise your hand. I'll bring you the mic, and we'll just kind of knock out a few questions here. We'll start here with John. Go ahead, John.
John, newbie alt driver. I was curious, can you talk about, like the crew chief that Josh will be paired with?
You want me to answer that?
I mean, we're stunned that that's a question, first and foremost. That the crew chief part hasn't been worked out yet. There's a lot of good people at Team Penske. We have a really good team now, and that's just not something that we've really addressed.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Josh, for you and your journey, I know about this time last year was when you joined SHR, and you said recently that you didn't expect to be looking for a job a year later, but to land here with a team that is as rich in history as the Wood Brothers is, how can you sort of sum up what these last couple of years through getting the Xfinity ride full time to where you are today, what these last few years have been like from your perspective?
Yeah, it's definitely been a whirlwind, really, from going, 2020 was the weekly series national champion on the NASCAR side of things, late model racing full time, and really didn't believe that, opportunities outside of that were coming my way. And I've just been very thankful, very fortunate to have a lot of great people behind me that have given me opportunities, but also opportunities that have provided results and allowed me to, continue on this path. So, it's been a lot going on the last few years. I'm really thankful for Dale and Kelly, LW, everybody at Junior Motorsports. Obviously, everybody. I called Tony last night. Tony was, super excited for this. He spoke so highly of the Wood Brothers and the people that they are, and they feel like that this is a great fit for me, and I'm thankful for Tony and Gene and the opportunity that I had at Stewart Haas Racing that landed me here, and now I have a new opportunity ahead of me, for next year, which I'm really excited for. I think it's a great fit for me. I have a great opportunity to come in here and help be a part of getting them back to running where they want to run and where they expect to run, and I have the same expectations. I feel like that. Between everyone here at the Wood Brothers, between the affiliation at Team Penske and Ford, I think we have the pieces in place to be competitive. And I think where I'm at with the next-gen car, I think we'll be able to hit the ground running.
Any more questions? Dustin, Shirley, you've got a question or two.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Look, there's a lot of history, and there's a lot that's been put forth into this effort. What does Josh bring that potentially helps bring this team to the next level to get that win? I know there's still time to get that a victory this season, that 100th win this year with Harrison, but what is it that is going to carry this organization forward beyond what you guys have gone through the last couple of years for anybody out there?
Well, I mean, for my side of things, I mean, I feel like they're getting somebody that's not going to quit. And I mean, I've worked way too hard at this and done it for so long that you can't beat somebody that gives up. And I've had to grind it out for years to get to this point. And I feel like I've proven myself over and over again. And I mean, I feel like I'm ready for this challenge next.
What he said.
Jordan, you got a question?
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. John, or anybody that wants to trust this, what do you feel like the team has been missing the last few years? Because you compare your performance to Team Penske, and I know it's different, but it's also the same in a lot of respects. I'm just curious, is there something else beyond just the driver that you guys feel like that he brings to the team, or you guys need to kind of improve upon?
I mean, we need to be better. That's there's no secret in that. this is a business that's based on chemistry, and it's a business that's based, or a sport that's based on results. And right now we're just not having those results. If Harrison shares some of the responsibility, if it's on us, we're not pointing fingers. We're not here to say this one's at fault, that one's at fault. We're just not where we need to be. And so finding that right chemistry and balance to have those results and performance, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, like what John said, a race team is not unlike a football team or a baseball team. Probably more like a football team. You can have the greatest people in the world and it not work. You can't really figure out why. I used to make fun of people when they would say, well, the chemistry's not working. You need this and that. I believe that now, especially with this race car. This race car is so different from what we grew up with and worked and raced all our life. It's just so different. And it's so many little, we used to go to Talladega. We go to Daytona and Talladega 4 times during the winter just to get ready for the 500. And you would be there 4 days each to gain 1/10. And you felt like you'd done something if you did that. Then you go home, cut the body off, and do all that. But now it's like you race speedways every week. Road courses, short tracks, everything matters. Everything on the cars matter. Where you are, your track position, pit crews, the tiniest thing matters. And there's no leeway. You used to have a little bit of a cushion. If you got a little bit behind, you could even make it up in the pits, or sometimes change 2 tires versus 4. There was always a way, but now you got to do it all right all day long. And when things aren't working, and like I said, we've struggled. We can't figure it out either. I mean, it's really hard.
The cars are just so equal.
And then that, it's just hard. And some things don't, people get with other people and it clicks. And you don't know why, and if you're one of the fortunate ones, when you get together with a group and it clicks, you don't ask why, you don't care. But it's just a really hard sport right now.
First, congratulations all around. But
Thank you.
Josh, can you talk about the range of emotion for you and your family, glad that they're here today, from the moment that Forward turned to for sale to the signing of this deal?
Well, I think we've been through this for a decade, right? She's been with me through late model racing all the way up to this change in our lives. But really the message throughout all that was really simple, and that was to go out on the track and perform the best we can. And I mentioned this a month ago, but it brought me back to a conversation I had with Dale Jr. last year when I was at Hendrick, and he we were having talk. He called me almost every week and talked me through all my emotions and what I was dealing with at that time. And he's like, man, you're at your best when your back's against the wall and you have to go out and perform. He's like, that's what makes you you. And I thought back to that this year with everything going on, and obviously Stuart Haas going away, right? That just provided us an opportunity to go out and perform. That was the only option, really. I mean, the emotions of it, yeah, it's difficult sometimes, but we've raced together. And we've always focused on performing, whether we're at Hickory or Martinsville or Charlotte, right? I mean, that's what ultimately, my character and what I bring to the race team, and being able to keep these opportunities and get these opportunities is what got me here, but also performing on the racetrack. So the main focus the whole time was to do everything we could to do that, and I think over the last couple months, I thought we did a good job of doing that.
Claire B. Lang. I'm thinking about how much the driver plays into it when you try to turn a team around or make progress on a team. You watch Kyle Busch and his struggles over at Richard Childress. You watch Brad Keselowski, a part owner, and it's very interesting to watch from the outside. For the Wood brothers, how much can a driver make a difference? Is a more mature driver, a roll your sleeves up kind of more technical driver versus a younger driver still learning, guy's been around? And for the driver, how much of a difference, when you watch these other drivers who've tried this, to move into a race team and try to help it? What are your thoughts about that? And also for the Wood brothers.
From my side of things, right? Like it's going to be a new challenge, and I don't, I know that, we spoke early on the Rodney piece, and Rodney and I have had a great relationship for sure. But this opportunity come about, and they came to me and said, "Hey, we want to get you signed up first. We want to get our driver that we want, and then we're going to go to work with you and whoever else that we're going to meet with, whether that's at Team Penske or wherever, and try to iron this out and figure out what's the best fit." Because what I have learned this year is how, and I think they spoke on it, that how important the culture is, and the fit and the belief between the driver and the crew chief and the ownership and the management and the team. That's what I've learned the most about this year, is how important that is, and that's just another layer to me that I've learned to appreciate and understand, and I think now we're gonna attack this together and go through and make whatever changes or no changes that we feel to make to give me what I need and give us what we need to go be competitive. And really that's the extent of it. But everyone was very clear to me that they wanted to get this part first. They wanted my commitment first before they went to building around me, and I appreciated that and understood it.
I think when you plug a driver into a new team, it seems this car, the results change more faster than any other prior car. You look at Justin Haley. I mean, who would have imagined that? Not really wanting to give him credit for it, but Hocevar. Same thing. Like, it's you can use your own judgment and how you feel about this, and if I'm right or wrong. But just those two changes, they started having results, and it gets back to the chemistry thing. It's not that it's a driver's fault that it's not working out. It just seems like a driver can make a change with this car quicker or something.
And then to add to that, it's like, anybody in this room can explain dirty air. I mean, you got a car, and it's just kind of off subject, but let's say you're running 25th and you can't even see the car in front of you. You don't pick up, but the leader, if he's in that spot, he's half a second, 3/4 second faster than you. I've never understood that in my whole life. But to answer Claire's question, we've had all different ages of drivers. We've had some, like we had Bill Elliott, and he was over 50, and all that worked. It's just, it gets back to what, John and Josh said. It's about chemistry.
Jim Utter, Motorsport.com. Question for John and a question for Josh. For John, you haven't been in your new role very long, but having been a former driver, what is it? How has it been stepping in and tackling right away a driver change? And what do you see the Wood brothers' role in NASCAR going forward?
I don't really see that my role has changed that much. The way that our family runs this business is we all just pull together and address whatever issue or whatever task needs to be handled. Never really worried about titles. Never really mattered. Now, I feel like today's NASCAR is a little different. It kind of calls for those titles and names, but outside of on paper, that doesn't really mean anything. We all do what needs to be done, and nobody really, we just all get along and get it done. I don't really have any other way of explaining it.
What do you see as the Roll brothers' future in the sport?
Well, if you'd have asked me 10 years ago, would we be sitting here in this position, I would have felt like I'd have been watching it from home. We've had so many close calls, so many opportunities that other teams did and would have failed, and somehow we made it through. And whether that's making the right decision, or whether that's relationships, being good people, them being good people, questionable. I don't know what did it, but I mean, to make it 74, coming up on 75 years, you had to have done something right. And some people, a lot of people, a lot of times question the decisions we make. Makes it tough to be on Twitter and Facebook anymore. But they give us a hard time at times, and you kind of got to take that and brush it off, because again, the mindset and the decisions that they make in the end seem to be right. So I just trust in their judgment and try to be right.
And for Josh, with your next year plans certain, you've had quite an uptick in performance in the last several weeks. With the sort of uncertainty around SHR towards the end of the year, do you feel like you can still continue that and hope to continue that to finish out this season?
Yeah, I feel like we can continue that. We have a great group over there, and they're all really motivated to continue to get better like we have throughout the season. It's going to get harder and harder, as we probably lose people here or there. It's definitely going to get more and more difficult as the distractions get more. But all in all, we have a great group. I think our cars have been running well, and I see no reason to think that the wheels are going to fall off the wagon, I guess, so to speak. I feel like we can keep doing what we're doing. I'm not going to let us fail. Just like Rodney said, I'm going to do everything I can to keep that deal going as strong as we can, week in and week out. I owe it to those guys for the opportunity that they gave me and how they believed in me, and I'm fully committed to continuing to battle all the way to Phoenix.
Louis Frank of Reuters for Josh. Hate to ask yes or no question. Is it fair to say the least stressful part of your professional life is actually driving race cars over these last few years?
I don't know. I don't really feel like I carry a lot of stress throughout this whole process, right? I say this all in all again. 4 years ago, I was racing late models, building late models, driving my truck and trailer to the racetrack, racing with my buddies, winning all over the Southeast, getting an opportunity to go drive in the Xfinity Series and now the Cup Series. I mean, I'm still really grateful to be here and have this opportunity, and I enjoy doing this, and I think back to who I was 5 years ago, and to tell that person that I would be sitting here with Lynn and Eddie Wood and John and getting ready to go drive the 21 car, I wouldn't believe it. Just like I wouldn't have believed that I was replacing Kevin Harvick. So, at this point, I feel like anything's possible, and I feel like that my resume, even outside the race car, has helped me tremendously, and in the race car as well. And I just feel like that, even through all this, I felt like if we just went out and performed, everything would take care of itself. And obviously, I have a ton of great supporters with. Obviously with Josh Jones and Kevin Harvick at KHI Management and everything that we worked through, I felt confident that if I just went and did my job, that things would work out, and thankfully they did.
I've got a couple from Bob from the iPad. He's
I've been
texted me a
texting
couple
him, too, to make
questions
sure he
here.
gets one.
So Josh, he said John mentioned about how you guys aren't set for a crew chief yet, but he wanted to know how much your experience of the last 2 years working with different crew chiefs in your substitute roles gives you experience in adapting with whoever your crew chief happens to be.
I think I've grown tremendously in that area. Working with several different guys, I think I have a much clearer picture. When I first sat in and got in the Xfinity car, I really didn't have a clear picture on what I needed as a driver or what I wanted necessarily. I was just kind of happy to be there in a way. And now, after working with several different guys, I think I have a clearer picture of what I'm looking for. And I think that'll help us through the process, right? We're gonna, like I said earlier, we're gonna work together through this and find the right fit. Everybody, is gonna deserve a fair opportunity at figuring out what we want to do. But I feel like I have a good understanding, and I think that should help the process too.
And then his follow-up is, what do you think it says about your performance during your rookie season that you were able to land this ride with a relatively short time to show what you can do?
Yeah, I think it goes back to even last year, the opportunities at HMS, working through that in a couple different cars. And then, yeah, this period, I still, even though we've had some bumps in the road and things that I wish I could do over or mistakes that I've made, I mean, we're still sitting, we're outside the playoffs, but we're on the grid, right? We're in the picture, which is cool. And I think we can win a race. And, I mean, I think that says a lot for a rookie in this series. We've been in contention the last few weeks. And I think we have some good tracks coming up that if we do the right things and execute, we can find ourselves in that position again.